What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I'm Abe. This is EVE Online, and the date that you're hearing this, it should be 10/24, or at least when I'm releasing this, and it should also be the date when, as you can see on the website here, EVE Online's new or latest update, Lifeblood, is being rolled out. Now, because I'm recording this prior to the 24th, I obviously don't have all of the patch notes handy here because it hasn't been implemented yet. But I figured we could talk about what it is that they're going to implement and sort of go through what it might mean to us as players. So it's called Lifeblood, and God damn it, I should turn this off. But it's called Lifeblood, and it is basically what it sounds. It sounds like they're attempting to breathe new life into EVE Online as we know it. So let's just step through the various updates and changes that they're adding here. I won't play the YouTube video because that's a little meta, a YouTube video in a YouTube video. If you want to watch it, it's over on updates.eveonline.com, and you can find it there. So let's just read through it and see what happens. So, as new technologies for resource acquisition emerge in the form of upwell refineries, new moon mining capabilities, and refined reaction processes, pirate factions have set their sights on taking a slice of the dwindling resources that remain in New Eden. With more tools for resource gathering at the hands of capsuleers than ever before, the competition for raw materials and supremacy over space is becoming more heated than ever as the cluster is pushed closer toward the brink of all-out conflict. So, that's the high level. Getting into it, they are adding refineries, which is, as it says, the next class of capsuleer-built structures. And they're putting even more industrial power in the hands of pilots throughout New Eden. Refineries will revolutionize how consumable resources are harvested and processed in New Eden, and will become the premier structure for capsuleers to use when collecting, processing, and refining and reprocessing. Collecting, processing, refining, and reprocessing. There we go. It's a new line of structures that will offer an entirely new method of moon mining and improve the ability to carry out reactions by utilizing the industry UI for the process, allowing capsuleers to streamline their industrial workflows like never before. So we'll get all the way through it, and then we'll have a little commentary at the end. So moon mining, as it was mentioned in the previous one, with the arrival of refineries, capsuleers will now be able to carry out moon mining operations directly via these structures, transforming the process from an entirely passive form of income into an active form of gameplay that promotes collaboration and conflict. Now, previously, if you had planetary interaction skills and that was how you were making your money, you could literally get all of that set up with a given moon or a series of moons, and then just over time check in and make sure you had all of your resources allocated properly and passively gain resources and income as it passed. With this, though, it sounds like they're changing things up quite a bit to the point where you may, with one of these big lasers that you see up here, be able to blow chunks out of a given moon and then go in and mine it as you would in an active way, like you would any other given asteroid field with ore and such in it. So it's an exciting new change, and it also adds a pirate element to it. So we'll just keep going here. So improved reactions, the arrival of refineries heralds a rework of reactions wherein they will be moved into the industry UI and will be a process exclusive to refinery structures. So that's good. With a simplified interface for ease of use by pilots of all levels of industrial expertise, the new reaction systems will bring a more coherent and clear process to the fingertips of both veteran and rookie industrialists. So personally, I don't have much experience with reactions, but it should be an interesting way to be more active in your mining and processing and reprocessing. And it's nice that they're looking into that and improving sort of how the player interacts with all levels of things and not just, say, wormhole space or other PvE content or PvP stuff. So this is fleshing out industry a bit, which is a huge part of the game. So that's exciting. Resource wars, and this gets into the pirate aspect of it. So as pirate forces encroach on the borders of New Eden's sovereign nations, capsuleers are being contracted to assist with resource gathering operations in high security space. Forming part of its resource gathering expeditions as combat or mining pilots, capsuleers both young and old will be able to take part in collaborative gameplay with other Capsuleers to assist their chosen empire with the release of EVE Online Lifeblood. So, as I understand how this works, let's say, and this is just from me watching the video as you have. I haven't played with it yet, so I don't know. But I want to say that as you say, blow off a chunk of a moon to then harvest and mine, pirates will come and try to take over that field. And so there is opportunity to be had by PvE-oriented folks in the form of coming and killing the pirates that are drawn to these resource fields, mining and industry in the form of coming and mining these fields, and probably some PvP as this flows out into low security space. Now, it talks about high security space, but I would guess that more lucrative pirates and more lucrative activities, as is usually the case, will also flow into the lower security portions of space, and it won't be locked purely in high security space. So on to the next one, Garista's Shipyards. The pirate factions of New Eden continue their arms race for supremacy as the Garista's pirates are next to branch out into mass manufacture of capital-class vessels. Refusing to sit idle and spectate as the Blood Raiders build a formidable fleet, the Garistas now have their own production facilities which contain highly valuable blueprints for their capital ship designs. With the winter expansion, Capsuleers can look forward to assaulting these shipyards in order to get their hands on very rare blueprints for highly capable and advanced capital-class vessels. So if you are, again, deep in industry and you can make capital-class vessels, this is a boon for you. And otherwise, if you're just trying to make money and you think you can take down some of these shipyards, this is a great opportunity to do so and be able to sell those blueprints at a premium, especially when they're newer. So it looks like they've introduced at least 3 different ships. The Cayman, which is a vessel designed for one purpose, to savage anything hostile it encounters. The Cayman packs a vicious punch from its primary weapon systems while still being able to launch light fighters to provide additional firepower. With the release of Garista's Shipyards, the Komodo, or it says, is a true dragon, and it is released. A vessel like no other, the Komodo benefits from a huge array of bonuses that allow it to affirm its position as one of the most formidable supercapital class vessels in New Eden. And then thirdly, the Loggerhead. A true support behemoth, the Loggerhead has the staying power to dominate the battlefield, combined with remote repair abilities to ensure that those flying alongside it can remain in the fight for as long as possible. So it's always cool when they add new ships to the game, and those are some things that'll be interesting to see how they balance and affect the overall, I guess they call it the meta of the universe. So we've moved into pirate forward operating bases. Increased conflict over dwindling resources across New Eden has caused the Garistas and Blood Raiders to expand their influence and industrial capability, staging daring raids into high-security space, which lies under the sovereignty of the empires. New pirate forward operating bases, or FOBs, have been spotted across New Eden, creating new opportunities for groups of like-minded Capsuleers to band together and work toward driving out the threat. Scan them down and hit them hard to reap the rewards from defeating hostile forces. So this sounds like, if you're scanning them down, like an exploration addition, and that one more thing that you can scan down and possibly sell the location of if you're not outfitted or not looking for something to do combat-wise. You can maybe scan these down and then sell the location on the open market. You'd have to do that in contracts, but still, it may be a lucrative way to add content to exploration, which is always welcome. Moving past that, and I think I've mentioned this before, the Alpha ship, actually this is not what I thought it was. So it looks like they're rebalancing some of the Alpha ships, and that would be the lower level frigates and such. So Alpha ship balance pass. With the deployment of EVE Online Lifeblood, there will be a sizable balance pass to many of the hulls popular among Alpha pilots, in order to give them a little more punch, including a few slot layout and bonus changes that aim to shake up the combat meta a little and provide new tactical options for these classes of hulls. So we'll have to get into that over the next few weeks, see what changes they're making, and talk about kind of what that means to what you might be wanting to do with them. So more to come on that. Improvements to the agency, and I think the agency has been a great addition to the game thus far, in that it kind of gives you, it gives you additional goals and some form of organization to contribute to greater efforts to gain plex in a sort of a straightforward manner that doesn't involve giving real money. And I think anything like that really adds depth to the game and gives you a bit more access. So improvements to the agency. With the arrival of EVE Online Lifeblood, many user experience improvements will be made to the interface for the agency, including the ability to find gameplay sessions with like-minded pilots so the Capsuleers can collaborate on exploration, mining, combat, and other aspects of life in space together. So that almost sounds like they're getting a matchmaking tool put together, which is pretty cool. If you think about it in terms or in a combination with some of the other things that they're rolling out here, like the moon mining and the pirate factions getting involved and some of these other items that you could connect with people outside. I mean, like I play pretty solo, and connecting with corporations without having to immediately join them and learn who those people are and how they interact, that would be a good way to get exposure. Next up is the mining ledger, and with the advent of new mining technologies, Capsuleers will be able to utilize detailed information on their mining history, as well as those who are mining in their space to monitor efficiency and raw materials output from their resource gathering operations. So this is an interesting addition to mining, just in the sense that normally you and your buddies, if you have buddies, go out, grab some ice or whatever, and there's very little way to track it other than through your own spreadsheets, which is what most people have been using to keep track of, who earns what money while out on a mining operation. And so if there's some more structured way that they're implementing this, and it looks like that there is, that would be a really great addition to the game. They've got ore type per day and volume. They got total ore. It'll be interesting to see what they put into that and how it impacts the game. Just from the standpoint of like how you do it in an organization or in a corporation, and what that means for controlling space. Like, does it tell you if other people are mining in your space while you're not around? Like, it would just be really interesting to see where that goes. So continuing on, lastly, it looks like they're introducing a Concorde level or a Concorde faction battleship called the Marshal, and there's a YouTube video here for it. Again, I won't play it within your monitor, but we'll just read through it. So, in celebration of the 20th anniversary of CCP Games, every purchase of a ticket to both FanFest 2017 and EVE Vegas 2017 will be rewarded with a Marshal-class Concorde Battleship. Under Concorde command, the Marshal is the last word in maintaining interstellar peace. Flown by the most seasoned and experienced Concorde pilots, it has remained the mainstay vessel of Concorde for almost a century and will provide a formidable opponent even with its Concorde-mandated weapons hardware stripped out. So, sounds like that'll be distributed after EVE Vegas 2017 in one of the winter releases. Now, if you're going and you end up getting one of these, you'll have to let me know in the comments or in any of the comments on the later videos what you think, how it's working on most of your gameplay with it, and just in general, it'll be interesting to see if they release blueprints for that and sort of roll out a more permanent implementation into the game. I know that they've had ships in the past where they had a limited release, and we'll see how this gets managed. So that's it for now, and that is the EVE Online Lifeblood update, and we'll go through the patch notes tomorrow if we can find them, and if I can get the time to record this and onto the website and all of that in the meantime. So thanks for being with me. Let me know what your experiences are with Lifeblood thus far. I am going on my honeymoon here in a couple weeks. I'm going to hopefully have enough content to keep all of you and keep my YouTube channel bustling. But that said, let me know how you're doing, how you're enjoying this expansion, and we'll get into it over the next few weeks. And thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.